Hello, hello. It is Damon and Raven doing morning matcha, and I wasn't picking my nose. I was
No,
wiping the side.
Don't touch your face. Don't,
Yes.
Don't touch it.
Okay, it's a weird morning. I have finished peeling the paint off of the church doors in the snow.
Yes, it's snowing.
And it's snowing right now. It's that kind of in between hail and snow. It's like sort of bead-like styrofoam balls. But it kind of adds a touch of something.
And you harvested some of the May snow too.
Yes, hence why I'm wearing a jackety thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of makes me feel good. You're just, hey, you got like
On black.
bits of lint everywhere, all stuck to you.
There we are.
Well, it's because we've been working hard. You've been doing your garden stuff until you got snowed out.
Got snowed out, although we had sun this morning.
Yes.
And we were mocking the stupid app because it called for
Rain.
inclement weather.
It just said rain and cloud, and we woke up and it was sunny, and then it became snow. So it still refused to do what the Weather Network said. Ha ha! Like us. Sorry. Oh, I was gonna do the whole thing in a British accent. I forgot.
Oh, well.
One of the episodes we'll do completely in a British accent. Then we'll do one in. Well, you
You'll
guys
do
can
the
request.
British accent. I don't have
You can
British.
request, and we'll do whatever accent. We can do a German one. Yeah, go down the whole. Maybe from A to Z. A. I don't know, what would that be? What country would you choose?
I wouldn't.
No?
No.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
I started off being goofy because I think Raven's got to get some stuff off her, some weight off her shoulders.
I don't have any weight
I
on
thought
my
you had some
shoulders.
stuff to clear.
I thought you were going to say something off my chest. I was waiting for that one. I was going to say, what are you talking about my chest?
I avoided that.
It's fucked up what's going on. I got a phone call from our dental hygienist. She's amazing. And Damon and I had talked about before that we want to give our reviews of some of the people that we have found. What are you doing?
What does it say? Quantum leap. Quantum leap. Yes. Go on.
In the area. And she's one of them. Marcy's just amazing.
Well, she's from Barry's Bay.
And she's from Barry's Bay. We love.
You can't be from Barry's Bay.
You
and not
can't
be
beat
amazing.
Barry's Bay. It's just a great.
It's like Mr.
town.
Heron.
But you know, it's just gone crazy. She can't even go back to business. And in Manitoba, where they're allowing dental hygienists in a limited scope to see patients, get this, one patient every 3 hours. How the fuck do you see one patient every, like, it
They
makes
want
no
your
fucking sense.
teeth to rot.
It makes no fucking sense. And then, you know, no doubt they're going to push their mandatory vaccine in the future so that you can't even see your dental hygienist or you can't even see your doctor unless you have that. And of course, though, there will be, I'm sure, some rebellious ones. We may end up having to give up doctors, like traditional doctors, and go for like real medicine people. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
actually.
maybe they'll force us into something that we end up loving way more. And the thing is, if that was to happen, there will be a lot of really good healers, I'll just say, from many different traditions that will make themselves available. And, maybe it will just give the alternative, I hate using that word, the real healers. Before things were hijacked by big pharma.
Yeah,
You know,
because they're running the show,
yeah.
just like the fucking greedy corporate fucktards are running political show everywhere, the globalist fucks. And it's like, fuck off.
Double barrel. They can't take your friggin' middle fingers away, can they?
No, they can't.
Confiscate them?
No, fuck them.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, and then this other thing about mandatory masks in some areas. Well, you know what? I'm not going to fucking do that. But For people, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to do a mandatory mask, well, pick a really good one. You know what I'm saying? Pick something that is definitely saying to your mandatory masks. At least you can maintain some kind of like not having to kowtow to these fucktards fear porn, because that's what it is. You know, not only did we have to grow up with porn damage, but we got fear porn damage now on top of all of that shit. Forget it. Fuck no. Absolutely not.
Well, they haven't seen the real me yet. I haven't seen the real me. That's one of the beauties, I think, about this whole thing, is that a lot of people's true colors will come out one way or the other, and sometimes people will be surprised and go, "Oh my God, I didn't know my best friend was gonna be like that," or there'll be a bit not so good surprises. But I think there's gonna be a lot of amazing, revealing, right? The great revealing. Wasn't that the original meaning of apocalypse? Was it taking the was it
Revelation, right? The great revealing.
well, Revelations, but what was it
Apocalypse is a Greek word,
to reveal.
apocalypse, which means to reveal, yes.
So that's true. Doesn't say what's going to be revealed. I would imagine it means something that's beneath, like at a root of an illusory layer, right?
Yeah.
To be revealed,
usually
is something that wasn't seen before, but was actually
the elite masks are off.
So let's pull the wool off everyone's eyes, or let's at least pray that that's what's happening. Let's intend that that's what's happening. And that's if it's painful, well, sometimes it hurts a little bit to wake up. I'll welcome that any day for another level or increment of wakefulness. But the way I look at it, the more they try, the more they'll fail. They'll cause an uproar. They'll cause a lot of people who, and I get it. I am totally compassionate and understanding of when people freak out and latch on to the apron for safety, or for the illusion of safety. What's going on, and I feel for them, and I don't take it personally. I mean, I might take it personally for a moment, but generally I don't take it personally. I understand what's happening. It's scary when the rug's pulled out from under you and you don't know which way is up or down, so you can't even fall properly. It reminds me of when we were out in the ocean, Margarita Island, in this big wave. I was not used to tropical kind of sea, ocean stuff at all, and this wave just took me out from under my feet, which was fine. I just kind of held my breath and I was swirling around, but it was very disorienting when I didn't know where was up. And I put my hand up thinking I would break the surface, and I guess I was still a different orientation to the surface.
And the sea took your silver band that day. I remember that.
Yeah. But disorientation.
And loss.
And there's a lot of really good friend of ours that we got to know through Stacy, Karen, and a client of mine as well. Wonderful lady, just within the week passed away. She'd been fighting cancer for a long time. And our friend Jay just last year, and it's not an easy time, for sure, and
the illusion is still on. Even in Bancroft, I have not verified this yet with a photo. I want to see the photo first, but someone whom I trust very much has reported to me that there are now 5G, what do you call those fucking things?
Towers or
whatever equipment.
Transmitters.
On the water tower in Bancroft. They've already got it ready, folks. So Bancroft people, wake the fuck up, because they're going to push 5G before you even realize it.
Yeah, Bancroft will become bankrupt.
Ugh. God.
Not that I have a lot of money anyways.
No, but nevertheless, and
And
I
one more
asked
challenge.
about Barry's Base, so I've got people also looking there to see. Like they like to hide it in water towers. That's because who the fuck looks up at water towers, right?
Big question that no one seems to be asking. All of you that seem to be fact checking everything and hanging on to Mama's apron.
Fucked chucking.
Yeah, hanging on to Mama's apron as a quick response to anything that's a little bit whatever, because you can't think for yourself or feel for yourself.
Or sometimes they're just reporting that something you posted got fucked. Fuck checked.
I was. This is no lie. I was typing in fact check in a response to someone on Facebook, and it spell checked me and made it fucked check. And that's when I pointed out, I go, Ray,
yeah, I know.
Check this out. So, is that the truth coming through?
Yeah, no, they had to say, make it chuck.
Chuck fact.
Because they're not checking anything. They're just up chucking.
Up chuck.
Yeah.
But my initial thing was, why is it that the things being taken away, that I'll call it the quote unquote majority, the majority that people think is the majority, which I think is dwindling.
I don't think so.
As the majority has become those questioning everything.
That's part of the illusion.
And that's why we kept, both of us kept posting things, and those that are playing by the books and believing everything, and they're probably thinking, oh my God, why are Damon and Raven all of a sudden troublemakers? That's a matter of perspective.
All of a sudden.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We've been seen as troublemakers all the way through our lives. Black sheep of the family, whatever you want to call us. But I know Raven attracted me because she didn't take shit. And just like Paint Stripper, she peeled right through all the old paint. Didn't waste any energy on politeness and stuff. Sometimes it seemed a bit abrupt, and I used to apologize for her all the way through shopping adventures and things. But she's a maniot, and for those that don't know about what the maniots are,
fuck yeah.
They are the original fuck yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You've seen and heard about the Spartans and 300. Well, Sparta is in a place where there's a peninsula that comes up from it, and the Mani is that peninsula.
It's the third finger.
It's the third finger. So the Spartans were only who they got to. They couldn't even get to the Maniots for them to become famous. So the Maniots are like Spartans on steroids. And Raven's got Maniot genes. You got a little bit of City Slicker in there somewhere. It got watered down a bit.
I think so, yeah, a little bit.
But from your dad's side,
yeah,
grandparents were full-on Maniots.
Yep.
And this is the type that when fighting the Germans, when the men were out fighting, Germans came to a village, and probably many of these stories, but the one I heard, the women tied their kids up in trees so they wouldn't be seen, and then they fought the Germans off, soldiers with guns and stuff, with pitchforks. So this is the Maniots.
That's one of the stories.
One of their stories, yeah. So Raven's got that in her, and me, it was in me, but kind of hidden underneath a lot of layers of trauma and belief systems and stuff, and I had this weird two polarities, one of not willing to, questioning things and not willing to just go with the flow. And that's always, I think I got a lot of that from my mother, because we used to live in a condominium, and she was always going to their meetings and fighting something and arguing about it, and wouldn't back down. And it was always these men in the meetings and this one woman that caused shit. And
fuck yeah, Jim.
My mother's not as much of a shit disturber anymore. She's older, but I carry on the tradition. And Raven's helped train me into trusting who I really am and believing in it. And I'll tell you, it's scary coming from me. It is when you haven't fully come to meet who you really are and your real voice, it can be horrifying, the idea of speaking your mind, and then it's kind of like, oh my God, everyone's turned and they're looking at me now. It's that kind of fear, like suddenly your clothes are gone and you're naked in the middle of a crowd. it's that kind of not everyone is afraid of that, but a lot of people, that's a scary thought. So it's that revealing suddenly, oh my God, they see me. So I've been working on, Raven's been training me, I guess, but circumstances trained as well. I've really found myself.
Life is training you, training both of us.
It's like things are being taken away from you, but other things you're finding, and quite often you'll find you're not willing to go back to quote unquote certain luxuries, because to go back to those luxuries, you also have to go back to a person you were and are not anymore, and you can't go back. You cannot go back, and I think a lot of people right now are facing, in whatever way, they can't go back. Whatever happens, hypothetically, let's just say everything goes back to normal. You cannot go back to normal after something this big. You've changed. Something has shifted. You're not as, increments of gullibility or whatever. Like, there's just things that you know now that you cannot hide. And if you suppress them, they're going to niggle away at you and cause some kind of a emotional anxiety or illness or something, and then eventually something physical if you don't clear that energy. So I think it's really important to come to terms with your true inner self and your soul and your truth and your heart, and listen to what it's saying. There's a song I just posted a few days ago called Wake, O Sleeper. And I forgot who it's by, but it says it in that song. I find songs are speaking to me now that weren't speaking to me before. And that's how truth comes out. When you've been shifted and shaken, and the truth starts coming up to the surface, it will come to you. You can ignore it, but it will come. And so if you get in moments where you think you're losing your mind, or thoughts that are coming up that aren't seeming to be your own, maybe they are your own, and you're needing to wake up. Who knows? But anyway, that's just
I like
some of
the
my
dark country stuff that found you, because it was some really interesting songs. I think Drake would like some of those songs.
The theme of most of the songs is the outlaw. Now, some of the songs, of course, like a lot of metal and everything else, there's the outlaw that's just the fucking outlaw that leaves babies everywhere, and runs off again. It's like this outlaw of, just because. The selfish outlaw that has a rebel without a cause kind of thing. But there are a good smattering of songs that come up where it's with a cause. And quite profound, like that one. So I've been enjoying that genre.
Was that John the Revelator? Is that the one that you said? John the Revelator?
No, that's not specific. That's one I have always loved, and many people do a version of it. Government Mule, he does a great version of it. He's from, I forgot his name, but he was in the what's her name's? Oh gosh, Cher married one of them.
Allman Brothers.
Yeah, he was in the Allman Brothers, although he wasn't a brother.
Oh my God, look at the snowflakes now. They're really big and fat.
And I would turn the camera to see it, but it'll cut off.
It'll cut off. We can't do that with our stupid tech.
And we're only at 18 minutes, so we've got free time. But, so songs are speaking to me. My doors are speaking to me, and this I love. It happens more and more all the time. When I have a specific focus on, I never know what to call what I do, like the word magical is messed up, so you can't really say that. Well, it's interesting because, I looked up the word talisman, which I've steered away with my tattooing approach to away from something with direct intention and more towards the intention of just opening to the heart. So basically nature taking its own healing course, like me not imposing an idea of what I think healing is. That's been always my focus. So I found that I drifted away from the concept of a talisman because it was a very premeditated, specific direction, a specific outcome expected. It seemed to be. But I just looked it up. It came up and I thought I just gotta revisit talisman, and it's actually not. It's work done that has a sacred purpose, but not necessarily specific to one's ego and limited to that.
Or
it's
a
just that there's
specific
intention.
belief system either.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's also that.
So it's a lot that I've been meditating on while I've been working on the doors and the clearing, and I chose to keep all the residue, the paint, the old paint, the dirt, all that which is unwanted and has been cleared away. And then I washed the doors, and even when I was washing them, I'm visualizing all the toxins as I'm scraping again coming out of the door. Like I could see it, like almost like sort of foaming up like beer suds as I'm clearing this stuff, and then water again, and then scraping the water out of the wood. And I just visualize, first it comes to me, and then I hold that focus of all of these toxins, these unnecessarily non-beneficial energies coming out of the doors in preparation for the carving, to render them so sacred in their purpose and their action, in being the doors, the portal that opens for us to shift to a better place within ourselves. And that means for everyone. And this is where that non-specific I feel is better, because if I had hypothetically a certain political view or my individual idea of what is better, I feel like that it's like strangling an airflow. So it's not allowing the full flow to come through of the healing. So I find that I intend like when I'm scraping everything, as I said, intending all the negativity and all the non-beneficial energies coming out, all the toxins. So that keeps it free from being limited to only what maybe my limited self can perceive at this moment, can conceive of at this moment. Because there can be a lot more that I don't understand. So that's why I keep it open-ended. So it's clearing all those toxins. It's opening a portal to a higher level of vibration and frequency and outcome. So it has nothing to do with me to translate what that means. So therefore, anything that I have missed won't be missed, and anything I might be biased towards or against also won't affect this healing energy. And I feel that's really, really important. But there is an intention for something nonetheless. And I feel that's really, really important. But to get into too many specifics, I think that takes away from it. That's just how I've been
So
working.
when are you going to actually be
Draw.
ready to draw? Yeah.
Well, it depends on letting this dry out. It's not the best weather for drying
No,
out.
it's not.
I could put them indoors and put a fan on them
That might be an idea.
to speed it up, in which case I could start sanding some point today, and maybe I could sand them. It's not going to be a massive sanding project because I've got the paint mostly off now, so it's just taking a little bit off of where it's all scraped. So it's possible I could finish it today. Possible.
So would you need to lay it on a like your table that you have down there, or you have it all
It'd be hard
upright?
on my back.
What about when you're actually carving though? Are you gonna be carving like up like that?
You know, I've never done it before in this way, so chances are I'll be carving with it flat. I'll be carving with it on a slight angle. I'll be carving it like it is, and finding out what works the best as I go. I might have them on their side and up a bit, like on an angle. So it's less of a.
I can't wait till you start doing the first cuts in the carving. Somehow I feel that's going to be a real breakthrough.
The feeling of just doing it.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait just for even starting to draw, because although I have a bunch of root ideas, I'm really, really doing my best not to let myself think too much ahead. I've got all this information, and then I'll just let my soul choose and orient from there. It may end up being very different from what I'm imagining, or it might be very similar, but a little bit different. It's, and I like to leave it that way, because I do feel that I need to let it speak to me. That I've started a ball rolling, but it's very important to let a certain natural opening up happen, or else I feel that it's my limited, I've limited the energy that's coming through, and I feel that's, so I'm, as best I can understand and perform, I am doing this from my heart, which is not caught in the trappings of belief systems and things, as best I can anyways. But boy, yeah, these doors have been in the making for over 20 years. So they've gathered a lot of power, a lot of energy, just sitting in basements and moving around from one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 locations.
Yep.
Soon to be a 4th.
Yep.
But yeah, very, very powerful. And I don't even know how many people pay attention to, well, at this stage, there's not a lot of excitement to most people, because they just won't have any idea where I'm going with it. Once the carving gets going, I think it'll be more interesting, because you can actually see it unfold.
It's another kind of damage we have, clickbait.
Well, if I was lighting on fire, everyone would watch. Whoa, he lit his guitar on fire, that kind of thing. But
isn't that what somebody did with one of those stupid chairs for the chair project?
Or if I wanted to be like Maria Abramovich or whatever her jerkhead's name is, I could just sacrifice a squirrel over the doors, and then it would go viral.
Didn't Alex Gray do something like that once
with a
upon
rat.
a time?
Yeah.
There's another fucktard, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't have fond memories of him or feelings for him. He played his cards right, as far as for the finances and stuff like that. He knew how to play it all. But yeah, that kind of thing brings in attention. You make cakes to look like fetuses and or newly aborted babies, and cut the cranium open. You'll get a lot of attention, and a lot of people sticking up for you as well.
Yeah,
it's kind of
I think
interesting.
It's cool, twisted but cool, right? And it's like whatever.
Or if a celebrity pays attention to what you're doing, then you are cool through the link to that celebrity, like a lifeline or something. When I tattooed Angelina and Billy Bob, as far as celebrities go, wonderful people, very pleasant. But that was the claim to fame. Anyone heard about that? Oh, we want to do an interview with you, but please, can you mention Angelina and Billy Bob and the tattoos you did on them? Like, the little thing like this that means nothing, but pretend it means a lot because it's on them. Tired of that shit. And frankly, I'm kind of tired of celebrities included. And that's not to say that there aren't many who have been and are amazing people, but in general, I'm tired of that whole Hollywood scene and the amount of power people have been given, and non-celebrity types. I guess they fall into a celebrity realm, billionaires and Bill Gates. Like, why is it he's got this amazing power just because he's got the money, just because
he owns everything. He's got investments in everything.
Those are credentials. No one has ever attacked Bill Gates that I know of and said, prove to me, that he's an expert in such and such or this or that. Why is that the case? Why do people not care but let him make choices that affect the globe, the whole population, and including animals and insects and everything else, included. Never questioning him. But I'll put something up from a epidemiologist who's well respected, very conservative in his scientific presentation of himself, Not going off on a crazy tangent or anything. Speaks well, knows a lot, has had a lot of experience, and then people are, "Ooh, fact check. Turns out that luckily he never backed down, and he went and fact checked the fact checkers. The chuck fuckers,
The upchuckers.
But this is when you guys are fact checking me. This is what you're doing. You're just yanking on. Not even mama's apron. You're yanking on something that isn't even really there. It's an illusion.
Yeah.
And the sooner you wake up from that illusion, I think the better. Because it's going to hurt a lot more later on. And I'm going to have to say it. You're going to wake up, but it's not going to be as pleasant. And it's not going to be like hanging upside down, slapped on the bum kind of thing.
It'll be more like bitch slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is that.
That's all choice.
Yeah. Oh, we have a delivery from...
Enterprise Truck Rental just showed up.
Okay, so he's our local deliverer who delivers from everyone else.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. I like him a lot. I know if I was down there, I'd get a good conversation. And that. But and the sun is starting to come out. The sun
is coming out. That's the nice thing about May here is that we do get the occasional snowfall, but it's gone like very quickly. And the beauty of that is it keeps pushing back black fly season. So black flies don't come out. So I don't really mind even if we get a snowfall every few days because it keeps those fuckers away. Now we tend not to get them too bad up at the house, but we won't be able to walk the dogs in the forest.
Yeah.
And that's a drag. So yeah. I don't mind this at all. I gotta answer the door. Okay. So I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna say bye. Ciao for now.
Wow, this is our shortest one ever.
Yeah.
But see you guys maybe tomorrow.
Yep.
Have a good day.